It is 8 a.m. on the morning of November 27th. It's a Sunday morning. Brett and I decided to slip out one last day for an archery hunt. Looking for anything mature today. We've spotted a herd of mule deer, small buck, and then a pretty mature, nice one. Not sure what he's going to score or nothing, but we've seen he's old enough, so we're going to start a crawl. And the wind is blowing hard. It's kind of overcast, cloudy, and rainy today. And it's a good day for stalking, and we're going to try to slip in here and use the decoy and see if we can't get him to get us a shot. So head out. Well, we had an unfortunate event happen earlier today. We got a really mature buck within about 4 yards, and he was coming along this rock face around a bend and ended up face to face with us. Brett didn't really have a great broadside, but he was close enough that he thought he could go ahead and put one in there, and unfortunately got it a little high in the shoulder and didn't penetrate into the chest cavity. So we followed him across a field, and he went down into a CRP patch, and Brett's able to get out and crawl on him right now. He should be pretty well in bow range, I guess 40 yards or something like that. He's bedded in a terrace channel. Brett's sneaking in right now, and hopefully he's going to get a second and final arrow in him. We don't like doing it this way. Sometimes when bow hunting, you have to make quick decisions that you think are right, and it doesn't always work out, unfortunately. So we're trying our best to get this thing killed and take him home. So all right, it's about 5 in the evening. Brett was able to crawl in and get a 27-yard quartering away shot. He did an incredible job. He was staying very patient, hopping over a few terraces in a CRP field, and luckily was able to get close, wait for a nice standing shot, made a perfect shot. He said he had an instant great blood trail, great blood coming out, so he expired pretty quickly. I watched it all through the spotting scope. This deer is no score record by any means, but I think he's an old deer that just, it was a good time to take him out. He was all by himself. He didn't act like he could, you know, rut hard, or either that or he had been rutting very hard and he was just beat. So the rut about did him in this year. He came into the heads up decoy this evening. I got a 4-yard shot, shot him just a hair high in the shoulder, and took a follow-up, but that was perfect. So I'm just about ready to head out to meet Brett and pick this dude up. Nope. Alrighty, I'm here with the Muley master this evening, Brett. He made about as good a shot as you could for the circumstances earlier today at 4 yards. We were thinking he was going to leave and bolt. Brett had just not a very good angle. Tried to punch it up in that front shoulder. Probably held just a hair high, but unfortunately that didn't work. Brett's got his arrow.
I'm thinking this is the arrow that hit the shoulder. The broadhead broke off, and I only got blood about 8 inches in. So I'm wondering if this ain't the one that punched the shoulder, but needless to say, he came approximately a mile to the south, and he's been up and down, up and down, up and down in this CRP field. And I finally got him bedded right over here in these sunflowers, and I crawled what seemed like a quarter of a mile. I don't know how far I crawled on my hands and knees. Got to within about 50 yards, and I froze up for a while. Then he finally put his head on the ground. I couldn't even see the deer anymore. So I chose to go ahead and belly slide over the last terrace, and I was guessing I was within 25 or 30 yards, and he finally picked his head back up, and I was trying to range all around him, and I kept getting 23, 24 yards, but I thought he was a little more than that. He finally stood right there in the sunflowers. I got a good range on him, 27 yards, quartering away. I come to full draw and got up on a knee, and he actually spun around to the opposite side, quartering away, and I just give him one of these in the armpit.
In the armpit.
It's tucked in as tight as you can. Yeah. It was instant bloodbath.
Good deal.
And if you look across to that terrace over yonder, he run about 30, 35 yards, and he couldn't handle it.
We have not walked up to him yet. I just pulled up, and we're gonna try to walk up for recovery and get some photos before we lose the little son that we have. So let's do it. Well, as we discovered earlier, this dude was a big blockhead. His head and face is just scarred up, and he's probably had more ruts than we realize. He's gone way downhill. Again, not gonna break any scoring records, but it's late in the season. Brett's never shot a Kansas mule deer. Believe it or not, of all the years, he's just shot whitetails.
Yep.
And it was a good one to take. This thing just did everything right. That came into the heads up perfect at 4 yards. He actually surprised us because he was at probably 15 or 20, and I popped up the decoy earlier in the day. He was like sleeping in his bed. We didn't think that he really paid attention to it or saw it. So I put the decoy down, and I had Brett slide down the hill behind me on a steep rock shelf, and we turned back around, and he's at 4 yards staring at us. So he had seen the decoy and finally got interested and closed the distance. And so an amazing hunt, beautiful evening. It was about 50-mile-an-hour gusts all day long, but
that's the exit.
Awesome buck, Brett.
Pretty high in the shoulder.
Pull him up.
Holy cow.
All right.